Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at, how everyday choices can have an impact on the environment.
Okay.
And I know what you're thinking. Uh, Another one about saving the planet. But hold on,
Right.
because the source material for this one is actually pretty interesting. It's an educational text, probably aimed at younger kids.
Hmm.
But it takes a unique approach, kind of distilling these complex ideas into simple actions, even framing it all within a story.
Oh, the story.
Yeah. It follows a boy named Alex, a total nature enthusiast,
I see.
who gets confronted with the realities of environmental problems.
It's not just like all happy-go-lucky there.
No, not exactly. It gets real, But that's also what makes it so effective.
Interesting.
Like, it starts with pollution,
Okay.
something we all know about, right? But then Alex discovers his own contribution to it. He throws away a plastic bottle. And that's where it gets interesting, that personal realization.
I get it, like personal accountability, even small actions.
Exactly. And the story doesn't just say pollution is bad. It actually makes you think about your own choices. Like, I don't know, have you ever thought about microplastics?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This source actually digs into how they're affecting the whole food chain.
Wow.
It makes you think about what we're all consuming without even realizing it, right?
That is a scary thought.
Right. And then there's the whole thing about water conservation.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
We all know it's crucial, but actually putting it into practice,
It can be tough.
yeah. But this story brings it down to a personal level, which I really like. Like, Alex starts taking shorter showers, turning off the tap when he's brushing his teeth.
Good habits to have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about my own water footprint.
Oh, you mean like how much water you use?
Yeah, there are even calculators online for that. Turns out just cutting my shower by a couple of minutes could save gallons a week.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Have you ever checked yours?
No, but I think I'm going to have to now.
Yeah, it's pretty eye-opening. Then there's deforestation, another huge issue.
Definitely a complex one.
But the story handles it really well. It doesn't just oversimplify it.
Oh, good, because that's important.
Yeah, they get into the complexities. But what really resonated with me was how Alex connected with the issue on an emotional level.
Okay.
Like, he actually saw a tree being cut down, felt that sense of loss. I think we've all experienced that, haven't we? Seeing a beautiful natural space being destroyed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that emotional connection, it often sparks that desire to do something about it,
It does.
So the story then goes on to highlight the importance of things like reforestation efforts, sustainable forestry practices.
These are good solutions, yeah.
Absolutely. Finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
But what I loved was the personal touch. Like, Alex and his classmates actually get to plant the tree.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Right. It creates this sense of ownership, of responsibility.
I like that.
And speaking of responsibility, the story also tackles this whole issue of endangered species,
Okay, yeah.
which can be overwhelming, to be honest.
It can be.
But the way they connect it to Alex's actions, it's brilliant. He throws some trash into the ocean,
Uh-oh.
and then he learns about how this can have a huge impact on sea turtles, even thousands of miles away.
Oh, wow.
It's like this ripple effect, One small action can have consequences for ecosystems all over the planet.
Yeah, it all connects in the end.
And that's what makes this story so powerful, I think. It doesn't just present facts. It creates this emotional connection.
You're right, yeah.
It encourages you to look at yourself and your own actions.
I can see how that would be impactful, especially for younger people.
Right. And you know what's really cool? Alex's teacher, Mr. Green, he doesn't just lecture.
That's good.
He encourages Alex to think critically, to question things,
Right.
like where his food comes from, how his choices impact others.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about knowing the facts, it's about applying them.
Exactly. And that's where real change starts to happen.
Absolutely. So we've got a story that tackles big issues, encourages personal reflection, promotes critical thinking. What else is there? It's fascinating how this story uses Alex's journey, to explore not just the what of environmental problems,
Right.
but also the why behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Like take deforestation, for example.
Yeah, okay.
It's often framed as like this battle between trees and progress, right?
Yeah.
But this story actually goes deeper.
Right. It doesn't just stop at cutting down trees is bad.
Exactly.
It actually gets into those complexities of resource management, the economics of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it does it in a way that's still easy to grasp, relatable even. Remember how Alex was so upset seeing that tree being cut down?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It made him question, like, why can't we just leave forests alone?
Which is a fair question. I think a lot of people probably wonder that.
Yeah, for sure.
But then the story brings up this idea of sustainable forestry, which I thought was really clever.
I know, right?
It shows that there are ways to use resources responsibly, to find some kind of balance.
That balance between human needs and protecting the environment.
Exactly.
I think that's such a crucial point, especially these days where everything feels so extreme, you know?
It does.
This story is all about that middle ground, that sweet spot where we can meet our needs without destroying our natural resources.
It's about understanding that we're part of the ecosystem, not separate from it,
Right.
and that our actions have consequences, both good and bad.
For sure.
Remember how planting that tree with his classmates gave Alex that sense of hope?
Oh, yeah.
It showed him that we can actually be a part of fixing what's been damaged.
It's like taking responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Not just feeling bad about the problems, but actually doing something about it.
Exactly.
And speaking of solutions, I was really impressed with how they handled the endangered species issue.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to get lost in all the doom and gloom, you know?
Definitely.
Extinction rates, habitat loss, it can be overwhelming. But instead of dwelling on the negative, this story uses Alex's experience with the sea turtle to highlight that interconnectedness. How even something as simple as littering
Right.
can have these huge consequences for wildlife, even far away.
Like a ripple effect.
Exactly. One small action, these waves that impact ecosystems across the globe.
Wow.
And I think that's such an important message, especially for young people.
Yeah.
It empowers them to see that their choices matter.
They're not just bystanders.
Yeah, they can actually make a difference.
It's about fostering that sense of agency, right? That belief that we can shape the future of our planet.
And it's not just about individual actions either.
Right.
Remember how Alex talked to his family about saving water?
Oh, yeah. He became like an advocate for change at home.
It's a small thing, but it's powerful.
It is, yeah.
It shows that we can all be leaders in our own way.
And inspire those around us.
Exactly, to make those more sustainable choices.
And that kind of influence, it can really spread.
Like planting seeds of change, right?
Exactly. Creating a ripple effect of positive impact.
And that's what I find so inspiring about this story, you know? It doesn't just lay out the problems, it offers solutions.
It does.
It gives us hope.
It makes you feel like you can actually do something.
Exactly. It empowers us to take action.
It reminds us that even small changes, when a lot of people do them,
Yeah.
can have a big impact.
It's a reminder that we're all in this together.
We are.
And that gives me hope. What about you? Anything else from Alex's story that stuck with you?
You know, I keep thinking about Mr. Green, Alice's teacher.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
The way he talked about these complex issues, not just as facts, but as stories.
He made it interesting.
Yeah, and he asked those thought-provoking questions, you know?
He did.
It's like a model for how we should all be approaching environmental education.
I completely agree. It's about sparking that curiosity.
Yeah.
Encouraging people to think critically.
And fostering that love of learning about nature.
That's where it all starts.
It's about empowering people to make informed choices.
For themselves and for the planet.
Exactly.
And that's something we can all strive for.
No matter who we are.
Right. We can all be Mr. Greens in our own way.
Sharing our knowledge and our passion.
And that brings me to another point. This story doesn't just focus on the environment.
It doesn't.
No, it touches on the social and ethical aspects of sustainability too.
Oh, okay.
Like, remember how Alex started thinking about where his food comes from?
Yeah.
And how his choices affect people all over the world?
It's all connected.
It is. It really is. It's about understanding that our actions have consequences.
Beyond just our immediate surroundings.
Exactly. They can impact communities and ecosystems globally.
That's a really important part of environmental awareness.
That's often overlooked.
It is.
It's about recognizing that environmental justice and social justice go hand in hand.
They do.
And to create a truly sustainable future, we have to consider everyone's well-being.
Not just our own.
Exactly.
It's about moving beyond that human-centered view and embracing a more holistic perspective.
One that recognizes how interconnected all life is.
I like that.
And I think this story, through Alex's journey, conveys that message beautifully.
It's a journey we can all take in our own way.
And a journey that's essential for a better future for everyone. As we're talking, it's amazing to me how this simple story about a kid learning about the environment
I know, right?
has sparked such a deep conversation between us.
It has.
It just goes to show there's always something new to uncover, something to learn.
Even from sources we might think are too basic.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that learning never stops.
And that we can find inspiration in the most unexpected places.
Sometimes the most profound lessons come from the simplest stories.
So true.
Well, I think we're ready to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, I think so too.
Any final thoughts for our listeners?
It really is amazing, isn't it? A children's story, and we're
Yeah.
having this whole deep conversation.
Yeah, it just shows you environmental awareness. It's not just about all those facts and
No.
figures. It's about connecting with it personally, really feeling it.
And that's why Alex's story works so well, I think.
It does. It doesn't preach at you.
No.
It's like you're seeing the world through his eyes.
Through a kid's eyes.
Yeah, a kid who's just starting to figure all this stuff out.
And that can be so refreshing, even for those of us who, we've been thinking about this stuff for years.
It can be.
It reminds us of that initial wonder,
That's right, man.
the thing that got us interested in the environment in the first place.
It gives you that push, that feeling like we need to do something now.
To protect the planet for the future.
Exactly.
I thought it was really interesting how the story didn't shy away from showing Alex's struggles.
Oh, yeah, like when he was frustrated.
Or sad, yeah.
Remember when he saw that tree being cut down?
Of course.
And he felt helpless.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Oh,
At
absolutely.
some point, we've all felt that. And I think it's important to acknowledge that because it's what fuels our passion to make a difference,
It does.
But the story doesn't just leave us feeling hopeless.
No, thank goodness.
It shows us that even small actions can make things better.
That's what I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
The power of individual action.
Alex's story, it reminds us that we can do something.
It's not out of our hands.
Yeah, we can all make choices that help the planet.
Whether it's saving water,
Choosing sustainable products.
speaking up in our communities.
Every little thing counts.
Every step matters.
And it's not about being perfect all the time, is it?
No, it's not about that.
It's about trying our best, learning as we go.
And doing a little better each day.
Exactly. Remember how Alex wanted to learn more about green energy?
Yeah. And protecting animals.
He was so curious.
That's what leads to real change.
That desire to learn more and do better.
It's a journey.
It is.
One that we're all on, really.
We're all on it together.
We are.
And that's what I love. There's this whole community of people, young and old, who care about the planet.
And want to protect it.
And when we all come together, when we share our knowledge and support each other,
That's when real change happens.
that's when we make a difference.
And that's the message I want to leave everyone with.
Yeah,
Don't underestimate yourself.
right.
What you do matters.
It does.
Embrace that journey of learning and growing.
Be curious.
And connect with others who share your passion.
Find your people.
Because together, we can create a better world
A more sustainable world, a more just world.
for everyone.
Beautifully said. And just like Alex's story shows us, even the smallest steps can lead to big changes.
They can.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making a difference.
That's what it's all about.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.